question often. How did BDonnas start? What made you start BDonnas? Like, where did it come from, right? What is the history behind it? So we started BDonnas. I say we, myself and Alexis Weekly is my beautiful business partner. And we started in 2001 in Tallahassee, Florida. And again, I always talk about filling a need, right? I like to sell shit that people need, right? So we were in college at the time, FAMU, shout out to Tallahassee, Florida, Florida A&M University, okay? Shout out to my alma mater. But we were just regular college students, doing what we do, going to class, partying, and looking good because it is a fashionable school, right? We needed to be dressed up to go to class, on the yard, set on Fridays, the whole shebang, right? We wasn't wearing no flip-flops to class, okay? Because it was a whole fashion show. And we struggled with finding really cute items, shoes and clothing. At the time, I think Baker's was there, but then they closed down. And so all we literally had was like Macy's and Dillard's. And back then, Marshalls and TJ Maxx wasn't lit like that. Like I wasn't shopping in strip malls. I was strictly shopping in the mall, and there was literally nowhere to buy shoes. Like to buy fly shoes, myself and Alexis would go to Miami. She's from Miami. We would go to Miami. We would hit the mall. We would hit the flea market, like come back with 8-9 pairs of shoes just to make sure we had enough drip, for the whole semester, right? Until we go back out of town. And so all of us girls were always trying to, go to different places, Jacksonville, Orlando, just anywhere you could get something different and be the highlight, like center stage, like I popped out and you can't get these. We were doing that. So when we graduated in 2001, it was just like, you know what? Let's try to start a shoe store. Like we were in grad school at the time. We had no plans of leaving Tallahassee. We was having a good time, child. So we really didn't want to leave. We had a little boyfriend, child. We wasn't trying to go nowhere. And we decided we were going to start a shoe store in the mall, gives the people what they need, right? Because I am a fan of giving you what you need. So we opened with not a huge budget, went and got, went to trade shows, and it was strictly shoes. So BDonnas, at the time, it was called BDonnas Shoes. We evolved to BDonnas because we needed a short, URL, a very short website name. BDonnas Shoes left too much room for error, misspelling things. So we shortened it over time to BDonnas. But at the time, it was strictly shoes. We loved shoes. Like that was my fetish. That was something that I believed in. Shoes were just my thing. And Alexis's as well. So it was easy to be a product of the product. Like I could wear my own shit, like no problem. So it was just really easy to just, like I said, become a product of the product. We opened up in 2001. We did guerrilla marketing where we were passing out flyers. We were on the radio. We were, mouth to mouth, like going out meeting people. Like, hey, come to the grand opening. We had the grand opening July 2001 and we killed it. Like damn near sold out of the whole store. We needed to re-up fast and we never looked back. Like we went, we made $1 million like that first year. And I know that they tell you that it takes 7 years to turn a business over. And it usually is the case. I'm not saying that what we did was the norm because it wasn't. But again, we were at the right place. We were at the right time. We were consistent. We did our research and we gave the people something that they didn't have. Like it wasn't shoe stores everywhere, wasn't options. Like we gave the people a place to come to that was convenient with amazing shoes because we had good taste. Like we was picking out some fly ass shoes. So where else was you going but BDonnas Shoes? And we took off and we never looked back. We were in brick and mortars. This is before websites. Like we were so brand new that we tried to get people to create e-commerce stores for us, and we actually ended up suing 2 different companies because they all thought it was super easy, but it wasn't. Like adding a shopping cart with all the options was not easy. Shopify wasn't around at the time. You didn't have these big websites that you could kind of create your stores off of. It was all from scratch, and we were so ahead of the time that we never got the website off the ground because nobody could create it. I mean, at least we didn't know anybody that could create it. So we were in brick and mortars for over 10 years. We stayed in Florida for 10 years. We ended up moving to Dallas at about 10 years, and we opened up more brick and mortars in the Dallas Fort Worth area. And from there, we kind of started dibbling and dabbling with outerwear. We did a little men's shoes, which was not good. So we quickly pulled the plug on that. And from there, it got to the point where the mall demographic was changing. It was to the point where I didn't recognize the shopper. Like, they were kids. It was like you was dropping your damn kids off to come eat ice cream and walk around the mall. Like, I wasn't seeing our consumer anymore. And the stores had gotten so slow. Like, our audience wasn't in there. Our customer wasn't in there. Overhead is through the roof. Okay. You are not opening up a brick and mortar store in the mall for nothing less than $8-9 grand a month, period. And it was 24 hours. Like, we were open 363 days out the year. There was no closing, 10 to 9 every single day, no days off. And we were owner operators and just literally burnt out. We started getting shifted around the mall to try to cut down on overhead, get in smaller spaces. And the last time we shifted, that's kind of when social media was at an all-time high. We got on Instagram and people were like, okay, I don't live in Dallas. Like, I want to buy some shoes, but I don't live there. So we took that opportunity where we were out of the mall for like a couple of months while we were waiting on another store to open up. And we started our online business with hardly no money. Like, we literally probably had, I was allotting myself like $50,000 to advertise on Yahoo and Google. And I wasn't keen on spending it because it was like that was my last bit of money. I had sold a house and had that money and was like holding on to that money to market BDonnas.com. And we got on Instagram and started following these fashionistas, these hot girls that were not on TV, not in our area. And it started with a young lady named Nessa. Her name is Nessa. She owned It's Rich Girls, and she was popping. Super beautiful, popping. She had a jewelry business. She was always photo with celebrities, like just the it girl, and she was fly as hell. And so I just slipped in her DM like, hey sis, I would love to send you some shoes. She was like, send them. Sent the shoes. Took her a month, okay, to open them up. She opened that shoe up, put the shoe on, and literally broke our website. Like, our website engine broke the hell down because it was so much traffic and we couldn't, like, our website couldn't withstand it. And we sold so many like shoes. It literally went viral before stuff was going viral on Instagram.